The waves of the ocean are vibrations, playful, soothing, profound and inspiring. Life on Earth originated in the sea. This is why we call the sea our mother. Embracing and listening to Mother Nature can teach us of who we are, how to overcome problems, and how to pursue opportunities. Each year, we meet at the sea's edge for the Afrekete Festival to connect with the ocean's natural energy. We call Yemaya, or Afrekete for the enslaved Arara people.
This is the year of Yemaya. The immense mother goddess, creator, life force, and great universal energy of the universe and of the Ifa tradition and the Yoruba tradition.
The Afrekete Festival is about the power of the sea. This year, we are holding the festival here on the Gold Coast. Anyone who wants to join us is welcome. Together, we can listen to nature.
I just felt that, oh my God, I need to go, because here in Australia it's not something that every weekend is happening. So I thought, let's see what you find and who you find.
I am the organiser of Afrekete Afro-Cuban Dance and Music Festival, the first of its kind in Australia, where it brings all elements of Afro-Cuban folklore in one spot.
Afrekete seems like a fairly new event, but it is not. Christina, Israel and I started it nearly 6 years ago, and the main idea was to try to show our culture and our religion and our dance.
An impulse, creativity in motion, a beat of the drum, a wave from the ocean, a vibration that is Ashé. Un impulso creando un movimiento con el sonido del patá, que se mueve suave como las olas del mar. Esa constante vibración es Ashé.
Ashé is a deep trust. I think it's a deeper knowing that somehow we're all here for a high purpose. So in that transition from scientist to Cuban culture sharer through dance, in the last 20 years of my life, I feel like I've had that innate trust at that moment to follow my intuition, follow where my calling is to bring, gather people in a similar setting. So bring people together to share and culture share, knowledge share. And Ashé has been that source, that driving force, the thing we follow, a thread that connects us all, and this beauty that's around us and being part of it all.
It has been a long road, by force and by choice, encountering new people and philosophies, moving between continents, between cultures, and between spirits. And we are still moving. Yes, we are definitely still moving.
The drums are called bata drums. They originally came from Nigeria with the transatlantic slave trade. If you look at what these drums are made of, they are completely natural. They're made of wood, and they're made of animal skin, animal hide. So everything about them is natural. And in the ceremony where they're played, that's the point where humans and nature coincide. So the point of the ceremony is to bring humans together with each other and then also create that connection with nature, with the natural environment.
Our environment is fragile and is in danger, but we can repair our relationship with it, and together we can find balance again.
I came into this world through an anthropology project 20 years ago for my PhD, where I went to Cuba for 2 years to go and study bata drums and their context. It got much bigger than I intended, and it became life-changing.
I was never a dancer. I was an elite athlete. And at a very young age, I decided to change from athletics to dancing. I saw a way of support my sick mom and my young brother. And I was fortunate enough to tour and travel around the world, not knowing exactly the deepness of Afro-Cuban dancing.
It's been a huge journey. I've realised it's been a 22-year journey of finding out about Afro-Cuban folklore and realising there was just a little bit more to a dance step that I was very curious about. There's something that wanted to keep opening a door of my curious brain, my scientific brain, and asking the questions to my dance teacher about El Igua.
Opening the way for all these energies is Eshu Elebara at the crossroads. Just remember, he looks backwards to the past and then forward to the future at the same time, opening and closing opportunities in balance with each other, sitting at the crossroads.
Each of the saints, African saints, represents a different natural energy. The ceremony begins with songs and rhythms for one of those saints, El Igua, or Echu Elegbara, who opens up the spiritual occasion.
El Igua was obviously the opening of the dance course, and we had to learn everything about the dance step, but I asked the question about what does it actually mean? Why is this happening? And so he finally opened that door for me. And so I believe that there was instantaneously a deeper connection to the movement that took me back to my ancestry.
Eshu Elegbara's two faces look behind and where he came from, and in front and where he's going. He is the crossroads where body and spirit join together.
For us, it's not about glitter. For us, it's not about showing off movements. For us, it's all about sharing. It's about teaching people how to project, teaching people how to be themselves, because the base of Cuban dancing is that. And if you don't know how to project your emotions, people won't be able to read it. People won't be able to understand what you want. People won't be able to help you if you don't say that out loud.
When I teach this to students, I show them the drums, they hit the drums, and there's a moment where hitting the drum opens up something inside of them, where they realize this is much bigger than just hitting a drum. This opens up a world of new connections for people. Connections with each other, because you do this as a collective, and connections with nature, because the whole point is to reinforce those natural human connections.
Nature for Afro-Cuban dancers, musicians, and santeros, or religious people in general, is absolutely everything. Everything that we do there is a nature element. Especially from the religious point of view, we pray to create balance. We pray to bring all those ancestors and all those people that live before us to come down and give us the blessings.
The vibration of destiny surrounds everything. Every rock, every tree, every animal, and every person. If we pay attention, we can learn lessons from rocks, from plants, and from animals. We can learn to fulfill our destiny without getting distracted by short-term ambitions and desires. So we can move forward. And we can do this again and again and again.
There is a beautiful hill over there where Eshu Eleguara live, where Ochosi the hunter live, where Ogun the brave warrior and owner of metal live. You know, you got a big hill where Chango sits in there, or Batala sits on top of the hill. So nature is absolutely everything for Afro-Cuban dance. And unless you understand nature and you appreciate nature as such, you won't be able to immerse yourself deeply or progress in your understanding and knowledge about Cuban dance. That is first. That connection have to be created first before we can start learning steps, before we can start learning about music, before we start learning about clave.
You have to understand more about the roots of this dance to be able to communicate the true meaning of the dance, so people get a sense of the culture. So we're not just ripping it off, and we're actually respecting the culture.
The Yoruba people of Nigeria and the descendants in Cuba still to this day recognize the power of mediation in Eshu Elepara.
This form of knowledge, this wisdom, is something that developed for a very long time in West Africa before being brought to Cuba and now going out to the rest of the world. But actually, in my view, the message that it carries is a universal one. And that is really just something as simple as being more aware of the people around us and more aware of our natural environment, and seeing if we treat people a certain way, that influences how we treat the environment. And if we treat the environment a certain way, it does the same. It affects how we treat each other.
I feel a society lacks all of that connection. You know, we are pushed into boxes, into a way of life that other people impose upon us. Even through the dance teaching, I say that, you know, we may teach you a step, but we don't expect you to copy it, you know, learn that step, and that's all you do is practice that step to death. It's actually inspiring you to find that within you, to express that step in your way. So that's your essence. So yes, society doesn't necessarily teach you that. Life teaches you that if you allow it. And I believe that whole source and the whole of the Ashé, my journey through the Afro-Cuban spirituality and bringing it to another country, reconnecting it back to its roots here through Indigenous ancestry, all has to do with reconnection at a deeper soul level.
We must find the crossroads within ourselves. And we have to do this together. This will definitely connect our material life with something bigger, something more powerful, something more enduring, something more beautiful, something that we can call faith. A balance between ourselves and nature. It is not about changing the world. The world will endure, the world will survive, as it always has. It is just about changing ourselves.